Okay, and I'm just going to make a start now then. So hi everyone, welcome to the University of Bristol International Office webinar in partnership with BEB. So this webinar will sort of talk you through a little bit to do with University of Bristol, what it will be like studying with us and how you can sort of apply and work with BEB to make your application. If you do have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A option on your screen at the bottom. Just type the questions in. We'll answer some of the questions at the end and we'll answer some throughout the webinar as well. So my name's Jessica and I work for the University International Office. So I often come to Turkey, so some of you might have met me before. So if so, nice to see you again. Obviously, we're working from home at the moment, so this unfortunately is not where I am, but this is one of our iconic backdrops in Bristol of the cathedral in the city centre. So throughout this webinar, these are the things I'm just going to touch upon, and you can feel free to get in touch with me via email afterwards if you have any further questions. Okay, so I just want to mention that all of the information in this webinar will be based on the fact that the information is changing regularly and that we do intend for the University of Bristol to be open in September. So currently that is our plan, and if things change, our website will be updated accordingly. But all of the measures are being considered to make this sort of take place if possible. So we are now accepting different English language tests to help you meet your English language requirements. So the Duolingo test is now accepted for all levels of study, and you can find more information about that on our website. We're also being a bit more flexible where we can be, and our pre-sessional courses will now be offered online only. Okay. So other considerations that we are sort of making to make things a bit easier for you given this difficult time, we'll be allowing course deferrals from June onwards, so you can request this from our admissions team. And we will also sort of make exceptions with references and some of your certificates if possible. I understand that in Turkey the exams have been delayed until slightly later on in the year, so hopefully this should fit in with our clearing and also reaching your offers by the 31st of August for undergraduate students. Okay. So why is it that you should come to study at the University of Bristol? So first of all, I'm just going to put a quick poll on for you to see how much you sort of know about the university already. So I'll just launch that now. So if you fancy answering a few of those questions, we can have a look at them. The second question about where in the UK Bristol is located, I hope a few of you should get that correct. So if you can see the poll, just try and click an answer there. I'm starting to get some answers coming through on the poll now. Oh, we're getting good results on the Bristol location. That's good to hear. Very good. You all seem to know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to Bristol. So I'll let you just carry on answering those for a second and run through a few things about the university. So as a few people are aware, according to the poll, we have a very good ranking within the UK and worldwide. So we are ranked 9th in the UK, which according to the 2020 ranking, 49th worldwide. So this makes us a very prestigious university. We're also a member of the Russell Group University, which is a group of UK-based universities which focus on research. So this makes us also very competitive. We're 4th most targeted university by UK employers, which is great because that means UK employers really recognise a Bristol education and what that will bring to their workforce. Okay. Another few nice things is we're voted the best place to live in the UK, and we're also voted the European Green Capital, so a very sustainable city. So Bristol was voted 5th in the UK for research as well, which is a great option. So I'm just going to end the polling now. So yes, we are located in the southwest of England, for those of you who voted that. A few of you, not quite, but you know, good effort. good effort. So also I can see that quite a lot of you are interested in our ranking, in sort of the world-renowned education of studying in the UK, and also learning from our academics as well and research. Also our facilities are popular. This is really useful information to us to know what's most important to you. Okay. So just moving on. The University of Bristol is quite an old university and it's also quite a large university. So as you can see, we're home to around 27,000 students in total. A larger proportion of those are undergraduate students, but we also have a large proportion of postgraduate students as well. In 2023, we will be opening a new campus in the southeast of the city of Bristol. So this will be called the Temple Quarter campus. It's just a short walk from our Clifton campus, and it's also going to be really near Bristol Temple Meads train station. So this campus will be focusing on enterprise. So students who are interested in economics, finance, management, this will be sort of your home for the next couple of years, should you come to study throughout the time of the campus opening. So that's really great to hear as well. So a couple of things that Bristol is able to offer you is the opportunity, we like to say, to think differently. So throughout your education at Bristol, these are some of the things which we can offer you. So each student will be offered a personal academic tutor. So this tutor will be your first sort of point of call during your studies. So if you have any academic problems or even any personal problems that they might be able to help with, these tutors are based in your school of study. So they'll be able to help you with those. We also have a wide range of innovative teaching methods, which are drastically being improved as well, given the current climate. So a lot of our courses are being sort of prepared to be taken online if necessary. So this means that come September, all of our resources will be based online as well. So all of our courses involve sort of e-learning modules, which you can reach online. You can also work in groups. There's lab work for some of our engineering and science-based subjects. So yes, we have lots of different options available for you during your studies. Just sort of reach out. Some of our courses have open units, which means you can take an extra module to sort of expand your choice of courses as well. There is opportunity to study abroad and to study in industry throughout your degree. So this is a great way to expand your horizons with studying at one of our partner universities abroad, either in Europe or Asia or in America, depending on your choices. And certain courses offer the opportunity to go and study at a company within your field. So example, for engineering subjects, we have a wide variety of companies based in Bristol, such as Airbus. We have great connections with Rolls-Royce and some of the other airline companies as well. So the University of Bristol is a city campus. So this means that our university buildings are scattered throughout the city centre. They are quite close together, so they're really easy to walk between. And the great thing is you can sort of knit between your university buildings and the city centre as well. So you get more of an involved experience within the city. So a lot of our research has also been implemented in the real world by our professors. So this is something I just wanted to touch upon as well. As I mentioned before, we are a research intensive university, and given the current climate, this has never been so important. So the university has been contributing to the local, national and global effort against COVID-19. So some of our professors have been using our facilities to try and work out the vaccine for the virus. We've also been developing some genome analysis and also been making hand sanitizer within our labs to distribute to the local community. Our Bristol medical students have been put onto the front line sooner than expected, so they've graduated sooner to support the NHS during the crisis, and a lot of our accommodation and parking facilities have been made available for the NHS staff in Bristol. So it's really great to see the communities coming together to help the national and global cause. So within the University of Bristol, we have 6 different faculties. So your subject of interest will fall within one of these faculties. We have a wide variety, which means that throughout studying in Bristol, you will get to meet people from all over the university. For example, in your halls of residences, if you're studying engineering, there might be an art student or also a law student. So you'll have lots to talk about all the time. All of this information can be found on our website regarding our faculties and schools. Okay, so for those of you who are looking into pre-sessional courses in English, so these courses are available for students who have slightly missed their English language requirements. We have 14, 10 and 6-week courses normally, which take place throughout the year. Unfortunately, the 10-week and 6-week courses will now be taken online. And so these courses take place throughout the summer. And in 2019, we had a 99% progression rate. So this means that 99% of our students went on to study their course of choice at the University of Bristol. So these are available for undergraduate and postgraduate students who wish to improve their English language the summer before coming to the university. So as I mentioned, the assessments are the same, and there will be sort of a 50% live interaction with the online pre-sessional courses. So for those of you who are slightly concerned about what the online course will consist of, there is a lot of guidance on our website about this as well. So the different time zones have been taken into account to make sure that everybody is sort of comfortable at the time they will be learning online. And yeah, there are opportunities for you to sort of get feedback from your professors and to engage on a one-to-one basis with your professors during the course. Okay, so for those of you who aren't aware, we have a couple of different options for study at the University of Bristol. Just going to put another poll out now to sort of gauge the levels of study which you're all interested in. So if you just bear with me 1 second. So I've just put that poll out there now. You should be able to see it. If you could just sort of answer which level of study you're interested in at the university and which area of interest. I haven't been able to list all of the subjects of study which we offer, but I've gauged a good sort of understanding so that you should be able to see that from us. So I'll just leave that a second for the answers to finish coming through. That's great. So I can see we have students from all over the subject areas, which is great to hear as well. We've not just got one area of interest. So to start with, we have the International Foundation Programme, which is a 1-year preparation course, and you apply for this on our website. Some students who are taking the Turkish, some of the Turkish high school qualifications might need to do a foundation programme before entering onto undergraduate. If you are taking the Anatolian high school, so excuse my Turkish, I cannot pronounce it very well, the Anadolu curriculum or the Fen Lisesi, then we will accept those for direct entry. Any other sort of high school curriculums, you need to get in touch with us directly to see whether we would accept your high school qualifications. Okay, so for our undergraduate degree or our bachelor's degree, these tend to be 3 years, and then you have the opportunity to extend these. So either for industrial, professional, or study abroad placements, or there's also the opportunity to do an integrated master's program. So these applications are done through UCAS, and BEB are able to help you with all of this as well. Okay, so moving on to the postgraduate. My PowerPoint would work. So the postgraduate programs often are 1 year full time, but you can choose to do some of these in part-time courses. These applications are done through our online portal on our website. Similarly with our postgraduate research programs, so our PhD programs, you need to contact a supervisor from our university before applying, and then apply on our portal once they have agreed to support you through your sort of PhD study. So as you can see, these tend to be 3 to 4 years full-time or 6 to 7 years if you choose to do them part-time. Okay, so I can see that the majority of people are interested in taught master's programs, which is great to see. So we have a wide variety of support and wellbeing services available at the university. So we have a counselling service, peer mentoring, where you can get support from other students doing the same course as you in higher years. We have the international office, so this is my team. We are able to support you with anything you might need. The student funding office and the student health service, which is for you to register at the local doctors. Within each of our residences, there is a student support centre. So these are 24-hour members of staff who are able to help you with whatever you need within your accommodation. And then we also have some really great cultural events which are taking place. So these global lounge cultural events, This is a way to bring the home and the international communities together on campus. So ordinarily, there's a lot of great in-person events going on. So over the past couple of months, we did an event about Day of the Dead with the Mexican Society, and the Thanksgiving event with the some American students who are studying at Bristol. However, given the current crisis, these events haven't been able to go on in person, so they have been taken online. So this afternoon, actually, there will be an event celebrating Ramadan. So it's for students who are sort of partaking in Ramadan as part of their religious celebration. However, it's also to teach other students what Ramadan means to them and how they are celebrating. Okay, so it's a really great way for home and international students to learn from each other on our campus. We also have a really great careers service. So our careers service are able to offer guidance on sort of CV work and things like that. So if you do need assistance with that, that's available all the way throughout the year. Okay, so they're able to offer advice about anything from further study to career options as well. We have lots of job fairs and internships and mentoring schemes which allow you to find opportunities which you might be interested in. Obviously, a big thing that's selling the UK as sort of place to study is the 2-year post-study work visa. So this means that after studying at the university, you are able to go on and have 2 years to find a job in the UK, where you'll be able to find a work visa instead of a study visa. So this is a great opportunity after graduating. So there are some scholarships which we offer as a university. So for this year, for 2020 entry, these scholarships are closed for undergraduate students now. We've just offered all our scholarships out, which is we were able to give some really excellent students an opportunity to receive funding. The deadline for postgraduate applications, if you are still interested in applying, is the 14th of June. Okay, so make sure you get your application in before then. We have awards of £5,000, £10,000 and £20,000 available each year. And we have up to £1 million of scholarships available for this year entry. So a lot of that has been allocated, as I mentioned. This will be similar next year. So if you are looking to apply next year and you're an undergraduate student, for example, make sure you're applying between January and February for your scholarship. Okay, so these scholarships are based on merit. So we're looking for those students who are really sort of high achieving academically, but also have shown their value within their communities. So through volunteering, through extracurricular activities, through your skills and achievements which you have already done throughout your studies as well. And then we also want to hear why you want to study at Bristol and what a Bristol education can offer you personally and why that money would help. So make sure when you are filling in that application form, you read the question really well and answer it to the best of your ability. At the University of Bristol, we have over 400 clubs and societies. So there's such a wide variety of things to choose from. I've had people ask me about the squash team, about all of our sports teams, whether we have handball tournaments, things like that. And then within our societies, so these are clubs and groups which focus on different areas of interest. So we have hobbies, culture, skills, religion, and then your subject areas as well. So there is a law club. So this is an opportunity for all the students who are studying law to get involved and meet with each other and have social activities as well. Whereas our hobbies, so such as the baking society, is available for students who love to bake to get together and sort of make friends with people with things in common as themselves. Okay, so the Students' Union is a physical space which students can go to socialise. It is a space for students, and the Students' Union, as well as an entirety, represents the student body. So it's a democratic organisation where current students run the organisation and sort of fight for the best things. So they fight for women's rights and changes within the community to make it a better place to study. Okay, so yeah, you can have a look on our website for all of the different societies and clubs which are available. Obviously, when you are starting to think about applying for accommodation, this is a really important process. So I'm just going to give you a quick brief run over about the dates for our accommodation applications. So these are all on our website as well, so don't worry about that. So the applications for accommodation open on the 1st of June. And you have between the 1st of June and the 17th of July to apply for your accommodation. Accommodation applications do open up again later on in the year, but these are for students who have decided later to come to the university, perhaps through clearing, and you will not be guaranteed an offer to study at the university. You will not be guaranteed an offer for accommodation if you apply after the 17th of July. So for new undergraduate students, postgraduate students, there is a guarantee in place to allow you to find that accommodation most suitable for you. Okay, so we will be making the offers on the 20th of August for our accommodation, and there will be a deadline in the email for when you need to accept the accommodation by. So we have 3 student villages in our city. So obviously I can't point to where I'm talking about, so we'll try and explain it clearly. As you can see at the top, the purple buildings at the top is the North Village. So these are a short bus ride away from our campus. So the campus area is the shaded dark blue area on the map next to the building called the Victoria Rooms. So from the North Village to the Bristol campus, it's around a 10-minute bus ride or about a 45-minute walk. It's a really beautiful area to walk from, and you do get that bus pass included in your first year accommodation. So we also have the East and the West villages. In the East and the West villages, so they're the little buildings in blue and in red. There are some postgraduate accommodations available in those villages and undergraduate. So we have a wide variety of things to choose from. So we have different room preferences, such as ensuite rooms, studio. We have some with shared bathrooms. If you require a different preference as well, you can put these on your application form. Okay? So then you might be made an offer, and then, as I said, you will accept that offer by the deadline. So as I mentioned earlier, there is 24-hour student support services in each of our residences. So this doesn't necessarily mean if something's gone wrong. These people also organise events. They organise social events and fitness classes, which are great ways for you to meet people in your residences. Okay, but then there is 24/7 campus security at all of our residences as well. So you can feel quite safe knowing that there is always someone there to talk to or ring if there is a problem. Okay, so as I mentioned before, the university guarantees an offer of accommodation for the first year of study to all undergraduates who apply by the 30th of June. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the application process. So this is something that BEB can help you with. They're one of our registered agents in Turkey, and we're really happy for them to help you with all of your application process. This is a brief applicant timeline. So from September onwards, our application portals open. So these are when you can start applying. Postgraduate students tend to apply later on throughout the year, especially postgraduate research students, as there's sort of lots of different starting points throughout the year. The wide majority of students tend to start their courses in September at postgraduate level, and obviously all undergraduate students start in September as well. So if you are interested in studying medicine, dentistry, or veterinary sciences at undergraduate level, you will need to apply by the 31st of October. Okay, so the 31st of October is the deadline for the UCAS application, but then you will also need to do the UCAT test. So information about that can be found on our website, and BEB is able to advise you about that as well. So after you have applied and you've received your offer to study, you need to, if you are a postgraduate student, pay the deposit for your course and then submit to us your offer conditions. You can do the same with undergraduate. You don't need to pay the deposit, however, you will need to meet the conditions. So this means submitting to us your transcripts, your English language tests, things like that, but they don't need to be sent to us until the 31st of August, okay? So then you can start applying for your accommodation. So that's around this time of year now. So when the application form opens, you will then, once your offer conditions are met, receive a CAS. So this is a number called the Confirmation of Acceptance of Study. So this number will be used to apply for your visa. Okay. And then once you've got your visa sorted, you will arrive in Bristol and you can take advantage of some of our great welcome services. So we have the meet and greet service, the welcome lounge, and then welcome week, which is a university-wide week of events planned for you. And then you can start your studies with us. So as I mentioned, some schools will send us the results automatically. So these results are published by the UCAS centres. If your school is not a UCAS centre, you can send them to Bristol directly. You can send them to myself, to the international office, or directly to the admissions team. We're also being a bit more flexible with our entry requirements as well. So near misses are also being considered. So for postgraduate students, your offer will sort of explain how to submit your requirements to us. So you can send the documents directly to the admissions team, or we can send them on for you. And your IELTS test can be uploaded directly to your applicant portal. So most international students will require a Tier 4 visa to study with us. So this is a UK-wide visa service, and this is a study visa. So with this visa, you're able to work full-time outside of term time, so over the Christmas, Easter and summer holidays. However, during term time, you're only allowed to work 20 hours a week during your term time. So the visa services want to make sure that you are spending enough time on your studies with your work, with your study visa. So you have the supporting documents during your visa application process. This includes a CAS, which will be issued to you by the university. So you can have a look on some of the sort of official websites for further guidance, but the agency, BEB, will be able to help you as well with your visa application. So I recommend using them as well for visa advice. So once you arrive in Bristol, there is a wide variety of services available, as I mentioned. So the meet and greet service is a group of our student ambassadors who are able to meet you at various different places, so airports, train stations, coach station, and they will be able to help you get to your accommodation with a free shuttle bus. The Welcome Lounge takes place for over 3 weeks at the start of term, and this is for international students to go to. You can meet other students, you can do some admin tasks. So we have free SIM cards, you can set up a bank account, things like that. And it's also a great way to meet new people. And there's often lots of social events and free food being given out. So it's a great place to go. And then during Welcome Week, we have a wide variety of events taking place, from parties to sort of society mixers and things like that. And those web pages are published in August to advise you which events to go to if you're interested in. I have got a few pictures of the city of Bristol. So I'm interested, I can't ask another poll because I didn't include it originally, but I am interested to see whether many of you have visited Bristol. So if you have, do mention it in the chat and I'll read the comments later. And if you have any thoughts about Bristol as a city, I'd love to hear them. So one of my favourite parts of the city centre is the Park Street area. So this is a view at night time of Park Street and the city centre. Bristol's a really nice sized city. You can walk from one side to the other in probably about 45 minutes in the city centre. So if you do like to walk, it's a great city for that in the summer as well, when it's not raining, obviously. So there's often a lot of blue sky and it's really sunny. There's always something interesting going on in the city. So this is the harbour side. It's a beautiful area of the city as well. So the harbour side route, there is a footpath which goes all the way around the outside of the harbour side. It's about 3 miles. So if you are interested in running, it's a great way a nice route for you to practice. And it's beautiful in the summer. There's boats going across, there's water sports which you can take part in. And during the summer as well, there is a harbour festival. So unfortunately, it's not taking place this year, but it's a great free event put on by Bristol City Council. So one of the most iconic views of Bristol is the Clifton Suspension Bridge. So this is an architectural feat by Isambard Kingdom Brunel, and it's really famous throughout the UK as well. It's beautiful for watching the sunset, and as you can see in the picture, there are the hot air balloons. Bristol's famous for its hot air balloons, much like Turkey. So all of these hot air balloons go off on the same day during the International Balloon Fiesta in August. So this is a great way for you to see all the balloons in the sky. Maybe not quite the same backdrop as in Cappadocia, but you know, we try our hardest. So if hot air balloons is something that you do like to see in Turkey, then that is also something you can get from Bristol. So there are a few pictures here of our city campus, of our Clifton campus. So we have a beautiful estate right in the centre of our campus called Royal Fort House. In the middle, you can see the physics building. So we have some great facilities which have all been refurbished over the past couple of years. And then also on the right, we have our building called Senate House, which has been refurbished as the student centre. So this is for students full of student facilities such as the Global Lounge and our student living room. So this is a view of the Clifton campus from the sky. Like I said, it's hard for me to point on here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but we've got the Wills Memorial Building, which is quite an iconic building. It's where all of our law lectures take place and where graduation takes place as well. So that's sort of our landmark building at the university. You can also see the big green patch surrounded by trees here. So this is Royal Fort Gardens, surrounded by the Royal Fort Lodge. And then coming down here is Park Street, that street that I mentioned before. So yeah, it's a really beautiful city, especially in the sunshine, which Bristol fortunately gets a lot of. Some of our lecture theatres are located along Woodland Road and Priory Road, which are just off the picture that I just showed you. So as I said, it's about a short walk from each building. The furthest you would walk from one side of the campus to the other is about 10 minutes. So it's really nice and you get to stretch your legs between the lectures. So as I mentioned, Royal Fort Gardens, looking towards the Wills Memorial Building here. This is beautiful in the summer when students sit down and have picnics during lunchtime, things like that. And then the Richmond Building is our Students' Union building. So this is where the pre-sessional courses take place. There is a swimming pool, it's home to the Students' Union, there is the balloon bar and cafe, and there's always something interesting going on. So that's the end of my pictures. That's also the end of my presentation. I've included here the contact information of BEB if you're interested in getting in touch with them. They're a really friendly team and I like working with them a lot. So they have 3 offices, one in Istanbul, one in Ankara and one in Izmir. So if you are interested, I will leave that up for a few seconds longer before moving on. That was the end of my slides, but yes. So what I think we can do now is, if there are any questions, my colleague has been taking them for you. So I hope she's been very useful. And I think she's going to pass them on to me now, which a little cute.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Thanks for that. Really useful, and you've given so much information that we haven't had any questions yet.
Okay.
So, if you guys have any questions at all, the Q&A section is where to pop your questions in. So yeah, if you've got any questions about the University of Bristol, studying as an international student, anything like that, me and Jess would be more than happy to answer them.
I saw, Layla, that you just raised your hand. That might have been accidental, I'm not sure. But yes, we can have a look. Oh, you have a question. Anonymous attendee, feel free to type your question, or I can answer it for you if you type it for me. Okay, so you've asked about sort of the system of education, so homework, exams, things like that. So depending on the course which you are taking, it really depends on what sort of your weekly schedule, shall we say, will look like at the university. So for example, more hands-on subjects, for example, such as engineering, medicine, biomedical sciences, things like this, they have a lot of lab-based hours. So this means you will be spending your time in our facilities, doing experiments, doing group work, writing reports. Often you and a team of other students would be expected to do an experiment and then write up a report for the following week to submit to your professors, things like that. A lot of the university culture, which is very different to sort of being at high school, is that it's really important that you're an independent learner. So this means that outside of your lectures and your seminars, which I'll talk about in a second, it's really important that you go in, you read over your notes and you do some wider reading to learn a bit more about the subject. So most other students, alongside those of engineering subjects and things like that. You'll also do lectures. So these are big groups of students, so a bit difficult at the moment for our lectures to take place, but they are taking place online. So you'll have a professor giving a presentation. They're normally very interesting and cover a topic which you're studying during your course, and then you'll be expected to go away and learn about that yourself. And then you often have a seminar where you sit down with a smaller group, normally about 10 students in a group, and you'll discuss what you've learned during your lectures. So there's a wide variety of teaching methods which go on throughout each course. So for the international scholarships, as I mentioned earlier, there are a wide variety of scholarships available independently. We have only postgraduate scholarships, which postgraduate students are only able to apply for our scholarships now. Our undergraduate scholarship has, applications have now closed. So for postgraduate scholarships, you can use our Think Big application form online. The application form is made of 3 questions, and these questions are about volunteering, about your achievements, your academic achievements, and also why it is that you want to study at Bristol and what your future career goals are. So the aim of our scholarships are to attract the nation's next big thinkers and to help those people who maybe need a bit of extra help with their sort of aspirations to achieve a bit more with that money. So I hope that was useful. Let me know if you have any other specific questions about the scholarships. So I can see another question about your offer. So by postponing your education at university, we call it deferring your offer. So this can be done by a year. So for all courses, we will be accepting deferrals from June onwards. So that will give us a bit of time to sort of see the background, which September will look like. Hopefully by the time of September, the flights will be taking place. All of the information I've given you is on the basis that the University of Bristol will be open and sort of functioning as normal in September. So fingers crossed that will happen. But yes, we'll have to wait and see about that. And if not, then you are able to defer your place until next year from June onwards. Another question about PhD announcements. So whether a website for PhD announcements, or should we check departments and professors? So I presume you mean this about the coronavirus. So we have a key page on our website, which is just on the home page. At the top, it says coronavirus. You can click onto that page and it answers all of the questions, so frequently asked questions about the course. As I mentioned before, at the moment, we are planning for the university to continue as normal in September. So this means all of our courses will go ahead as planned in September until further announced. So if that does take place, then the announcement will be on our website, but that is not currently the case at the moment. So we do plan on continuing on-campus education in September. Okay. Okay, so in our school we have this. So with regards to exams being cancelled, we are being flexible with the grades which students submit to us. So we understand that with the IB programme, even though the exams are cancelled, your counsellors are helping you to receive grades which are realistic for what you would have achieved during your exams. So you can submit those to us as well. If you are studying the Lees Diplomacy, then I understood that the Lees exams will be taken, sorry, I'm saying Lees, the Anadolu Lees Diplomacy. These exams should be taking place later on in the year. So you will receive your exam results in time to submit to them by the end of August. Okay. So if your IB exams have been cancelled and you feel you'd rather submit your IB results, you need to speak to your school and to ask them to send your IB results to us once they have decided them for you. Okay, and so for the IELTS score question, so the high school GPA, so off the top of my head, we normally look for around 80% overall in the high school diploma for our international relations courses. For some other courses, it's slightly higher. So for our engineering subjects, we're looking for about 85 overall. And then so for international relations, there aren't any sort of subject-specific requirements that you do need. So you would need a lower level maths, but with just 85% overall, that should be fine. And then with the IELTS, off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but you can have a look on our website. So you can see each of the English language profiles which are required. For international relations, I imagine it will be about 6.5 overall at least. Okay, so for the on-campus pre-sessional courses, the pre-sessional courses are now being taken online. So it's now not possible to take the pre-sessional course in person. Emails will have been sent round to applicants to tell them about this already, and information will be updated on our website very soon. So if there are any other questions, just going to move the slide on to show you my email address. If you have any further questions which you would like me to answer, please do pass them on to me at my email address there. For example, the IELTS score question, if you'd like some further information about that, I can send you the page which I was referring to. So I hope this has been useful for you. I can't see any more questions sort of coming in now. So I'll leave it a few more minutes just to see if anybody else has any other questions. No. So I think that's everything then. So I hope this was really useful for you. And I have recorded this and we'll send it to BEB to circulate for you. So if you do have any other questions, as I said, pop them in an email to me and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. And I hope this was enjoyable and not too boring and a bit different to any of your other webinars that you might have listened to so far. And fingers crossed, I hope to see you in Turkey in the future when we are all able to travel again. So thank you very much. I don't know.